I hope through part one and part two of my video series, Threat Management Unit, I hope you can see that there is something called Threat Management Unit, or at least, it's conceivable. And today I wanted to just talk about some of the threat management unit that was most around me throughout UCLA. And then I'm going to start talking about the admins and faculty that put this shit on me in the first place. Yeah, one of these individuals that pretended to be one of my cohorts, Sal Quintero. First of all, you can only fake intellect to a certain point. I remember we had to do a presentation on Kahneman and the flaws and how we think about probability. And my God, Sal Quintero didn't get any of that. Like, embarrassingly so. The other thing to mention about Sal Quintero, he has some personal issues. He told me one time about a time he got raped at a art installation somewhere in LA. Has absolutely nothing to do with me. But you know something? I could tell by he talks about me, how he talks about everyone else, that he sees everything through that lens, through the lens that he got fucking raped at some installation art place in Los Angeles. What the fuck does that have to do with me? I try to be as, as understanding, I guess, as empathetic as I could be in the moment, but I'm thinking about it afterwards, and I'm just like, damn, Sal Quintero has some fucking problems. So one of the individuals that Threat Management Unit very personally put on me was Joseph Denning. He's a full-on racist from Kansas. He's always complaining to me about how his voice feels effeminate compared to mine. He's always complaining to me about how he feels small compared to an Asian man. Hey, you know something? I try to appease him. I'm like, man, this is a very fragile young man. I fucking tell this motherfucker, hey man, at least I can't grow a beard quite like yours. And this fucking Joseph Denning of Threat Management Unit just trashes me every chance he gets. This fucking white guy from Kansas, he came out of the cornfields for the first time. And he has problems with every minority he feels is uppity because they will stand up for themselves. Please, report it to the FBI. So when I'm at home, I'm with these threat management people. When I'm on campus, I'm with these threat management people. They are all around me, and the core individuals that are around me are so personally flawed. I write about this on Ethics Point, the UC whistleblower website. This whole idea of threat management unit program is ill-conceived from the start. Why would a struggling actor, a struggling model, someone who's trying to make it in the entertainment industry with not a lot of future prospects, why would they look favorably at a UCLA student? UCLA students are all heading towards some kind of middle income life. Their life seems very uncertain and shaky, and it is. And I've met these people. I've lived with these people for a while now. Let me tell you, these like entertainment types, I think they're kind of shitty in general. Just like jealous individuals. Very frustrated with the fact that they've sent in their 1,000th application to be part of some B movie and got rejected for the 1,000th time. Jealous, covetous, fragile, really. The number of times I had to try to make Sal Quintero feel okay about his nose shape. My God. Another person who's on me all the time, Gustavo Martir Luna. And this guy, let me tell you, I told him once that I had a love affair with prescription Adderall. And after that, he's just all over UCLA offering me cocaine. Does that sound right to you guys? Yeah? Yeah? How crazy is that? That had a love affair with Adderall, prescription Adderall. I had a legal prescription for it. And he just fucking brings me cocaine all the time as part of UCLA function. Yeah, one of the people who lived with me as part of threat management unit was Caitlin Fick. And let me tell you about Caitlin Fick. This bitch was so politically correct. She couldn't watch any movies besides something that came out on Disney for children. And not only is this bitch just insanely politically correct, she's also trying to physically bully me through her time living at 743 Half Levering Avenue with me. She's bullying me about fucking bathroom chores that we gotta split between us. I'm like, holy fuck, this bitch is fucking crazy. And who has that right on me? Fucking Fabiola Leon of UCLA and the hateful Jews of UCLA who wants to conquer every minority. Look at this faggot right here before he walks away. I'm a failed actor. You know, from what people have suggested to me in passing, I know that Joseph Denning has done a lot to just like tatter my image. The other person who has been really big part of this is Mehul Mehta, who was my roommate from 2021 to 2023. First of all, I gotta put this as the get-go. Mehul Mehta has made, awkward passes at me multiple times. And frankly, I thought she was cute, but I could tell that she was kind of wacky. She was a little crazy. I remember in early 2021, I had a graduate student get together, like a little party at 743 Half Levering Avenue, where me and Mehul Mehta lived. And she comes out, goes to our kitchen, and talks to some of the graduate students and acts like a battered student that I battered. Like she's part of a abusive relationship. This is how possessive and crazy Mehul Mehta really was. And I saw part of that, and I was just like, no way. I'm imagining things, and I just like let it pass. But I would find out from people like in other times, like they would tell me, no, that definitely did happen. So not only was she like tattering my image through threat management unit function, she was just like doing things when people were around as well. Like Mehul Mehta is not well. Mehul Mehta, hey, I don't gossip. I don't really talk about other people, but after what she has done, it's just fair game at this point, right? She has told me that she has never been in a successful relationship, that she herself feels there's something wrong with the way she is attached to people, attachment theory. And you know something? I wholeheartedly agree with her. Yeah, I lived with this woman the whole time I was at UCLA, and she just backstabbed the hell out of me, and I just didn't know for like the longest time. And she was again threat management unit. One of the big thing, these individuals that I'm calling out that are close by me: Sal Quintero, Joseph Denning, Mehul Mehta, Caitlin Fick, Gustavo Martir Luna. These people, I know they are threat management unit for multiple reasons. One, you know, some people have made some, side remarks at me that made me realize. But more than that, it's just my experiences with them. You can't. These are again, as strange as it might sound, these are paid actors, right? Pretending to be graduate students, and you could only pretend to be a student of psychology and neuroscience for so long. You're going to have those conversations where they're just like not hitting the mark because they just don't have the knowledge for it. And let me tell you, these people are paid actors. They are not intelligence agents. Like I would talk to people like Nate, people who are supposed to be in the chemistry department as PhDs, chemistry department working with Mehuo Meta, and they would forget what their lab does, and they would like try to awkwardly pass off their cover story of how they're related, why they're in the chemistry department. They would just like forget their cover story after a while, and they would have to awkwardly like bypass the conversation. And when I say I was 24/7 surrounded by threat management unit, that is not an overstatement. I mean, like I said, when I'm at home, I'm with threat management unit. When I'm at Pritzker, I'm with threat management unit. Anywhere on campus, I am surrounded by threat management unit. When I'm at Westwood Village, I am surrounded by threat management unit. And I start to realize there's like something wrong, like even at the very beginning of 2021. Like I don't understand what is happening, but like I've seen these threat management people talk to one another, coordinate with one another about what they're gonna do to me, how they're going to try to get my attention, or what they're gonna do to see what I do. One of the big things is like I you have a natural sense of like a distribution of people, right? And like, why is the distribution always weird? Like for a month period, I'm just like, why is everybody Jewish all of a sudden around me? And they're like wearing Hebrew and stuff. Like, I don't really care, but it's like, why is everybody Jewish around me? Like, this is so strange. I'm on campus, everybody's Jewish. When I'm on the village, everybody passing by me is Jewish. Like, what is going on? I go to Kirchhoff, like, there are women who are like less than 5 feet tall, like in droves. I'm like, these women's heights are like several standard deviations away from the norm. Like, how can there be such a concentration of short women at Kirchhoff? I get so weirded out by this fact at one point that I go around asking like, is there like a support group for like shorter women like that's happening around Kirchhoff? Like, this makes no sense. This makes no statistical sense. And not only that, like people are just like rude to me for no reason. Like I remember I was at In and Out once, and I'm just like, getting some soda, and at the soda fountain, and I just like make small conversation like, "How are you?" With someone else who's just like standing around, and the person is just like, "Oh my god, you monster! You talking to me?" Like their reactions aren't real. It seems like there's something else going on. And I realized this from very early on, like from 2021, even though I can't quite put my finger on it. People have a lot of criticism about the police, right? Given history and things like that. But if you're a patrolling cop making arrests and dealing with crime on a daily basis, you built up an intuition for what is truly a dangerous person. You're just like looking at someone intuitively. You can sense by their posture and the way they're talking. Oh, this person is actually going to do something. But what is UCLA utilizing? Fucking actors. It's like, what in the fuck are they gonna know about defining a threat? They just see a guy, right, who's like scouring at the sunlight coming down at his face. You know what I mean? He's walking fast towards his class. I used to be 220 pounds when I used to work out. I'm a little bit bigger. Uh, they're seeing me pass by and they just feel a little bit hesitant, and they're just being like, "Oh my God, this man's a threat. This man's a threat." This is such a terrible idea from the bottom all the way to the top. It's just an awful idea. I say threat management unit is like secret shoppers, but it's not. They live with you, right? They harass you. They pick a fight with you just to see how the threat would react. You know what I mean? Uh, and they would do what I would call skits at a certain point on my ethics point report to the UC system, the whistleblower website. They would, like in front of me, act out like a scene to see how I would react. But like people are not acting like how they normally do. Like it just doesn't make sense. And I'll go more into detail about it in another video of some of the things that I saw. But it's just like it doesn't make sense. And frankly speaking, a lot of these people, bad actors. On top of the skit, just like not making sense, they sound stiff. They act stiff. They look like they are reading from a script and doing a bad job at it. You know what I mean? And so from 2021 onwards, I'm always like I'm like looking around like, am I really? I must be crazy, right? To think that there is people around me all the time that are just like not students, that are just like doing these things. I must be crazy to think that. So I just like put it away, from my head. But I'm always looking around. I'm like, UCLA, you are being watched all the time by paid actors, and isn't that such a crazy thing to say? When I started to realize it in 2023, I went to the chancellor's office. I'm like, how could this be? I'm being watched by paid actors 24/7. Sal Quintero, Kaylin Fick, Mehul Mehta, Joseph Denning, that racist? How can that be? I go to the chancellor's office and it goes into lockdown because again, I'm managed by threat management and I'm a threat and they're locking shit down. Then I go to Dodd Hall. Dodd Hall is the legal law school of UCLA. I go to Dodd Hall. I'm like, this can't be real, right? I mean, everybody around me is a paid actor. I think they faked ICLM International Conference of Learning and Memory on campus. How can that be? I must be crazy to think that, right? And again, Dodd Hall, the law school, goes into lockdown. So yeah, UCLA is fucked up beyond belief. They got fucking paid actors doing bullshit, and racists like Fabio Leon are putting the worst of them all around minorities. And then when you try to get help, when you're like, no, this can't be right. This is insane. And you try to speak with the chancellor, you try to talk to the law school, they place everything on lockdown, so you are segregated. 1960 is not that far away from 2025 from a historic lens.